It was a sad day in Lambeau as the green and gold somehow let the Carolina Panthers get the best of them. We're doing our best to stay positive while we recap that awful and unexpected loss and look forward to next week's Monday night matchup against the Super Bowl champs. We also have some feedback from the best Packers community out there. All this and more coming up next on your Packers Fan Podcasts.
Hello, fellow Packers fans. Come on in. I'm Wayne Henderson, and I say let's commiserate together. Don't they say misery loves company, Scott?
Well, if that's the case, I'm glad I get to be miserable with you, man. I'm Scott Clark from the Gaming Outsider Podcast. What a brutal day of football. I just, frustrating doesn't even begin to describe how I felt watching that game. We got a lot to unpack, a lot to talk about. On this 330th episode of the Packers Fan Podcast, we're going to recap the one high and the many lows from the shocking loss to the Panthers. And since it's always a highlight of the podcast, to share your listener feedback, we're going to share even more of it. Stay tuned for that.
And then we're going to preview next Monday night's big Eagles at Packers game, which just became more pivotal than originally thought. And as tradition dictates, Scott will have his keys to a Packers victory, won't you? A victory, right?
Absolutely, for sure. And speaking of, let's go ahead and look at the leaders. There were some leaders in this game on the loss to the Panthers. First off, on the passing side, Jordan Love, 26 for 37 for 273 yards, 0 touchdowns, and 1 interception for a passer rating of 80.1. Just not in the cards from this week. On the rushing side, Josh Jacobs had 17 carries for 87 yards and 1 touchdown. His longest was 18 yards. On the receiving end, Romeo Doubs, 7 receptions for 91 yards, and his longest was 30. And then on the defensive side, Xavier McKinney had 9 total tackles, 3 of them all on his own, 1 sack as well, and also a quarterback hit on top of it. So, if it sounds I'm being cynical here, guys, it is. This was just an awful, awful game to watch. I was stressed the entire time, and then it didn't pay off at the end. So let's talk about the opening drives for just a second. That first opening defensive drive, because I believe the Panthers elected to receive first, which I feel like is that's like a weird thing to do nowadays. But it was a 3-and-out, thankfully. However, it almost wasn't. There was a play where Cooper saved a third down conversion by peeling off and tackling the runner a half yard short from what could have easily been a first down and a lot more. So Carolina winds up going for it on 4th down, but had a penalty that backed them up 10 yards, so they decided to punt instead. I'm still counting it as a 3-and-out. It was a great start to the game, and I was getting excited. And then the opening offensive drive after we took over, we drove well down to the red zone. Unfortunately, Williams fumbled. Carolina recovered. I got nervous because I thought he was running it all the way back, which was going to make it even worse. Thankfully, after they drove that ball down, McKinley intercepted the ball in the end zone to turn the tides. There was still no score at this point in the game. So kind of boring first couple of drives.
Well, when you describe it, but at that point in the game, although there was no score yet, to me, that Williams fumble in the red zone was an emotional dagger to me anyway, because I'm thinking, we went all that way. We used all that time. We got nothing. Mm-hmm. Oh, well. It happens.
It really was just a momentum shift so early on in the game.
Right.
And then I thought that it was going the other way when we picked it off on the end zone. I'm like, all right, here we go. Things are going back. This is going to be great. And that's all she wrote. I literally, Wayne, I'm not joking. I take notes during the game. This time I actually had physical paper because my wife doesn't like me being on my laptop when I'm watching a game. And I'm taking notes, and I've got my paper split up into two sides, good and bad. And I have the bad for our lowlights, the good for our highlights. I did not have a single highlight written down on my paper until the 4th quarter. And there's only one highlight to talk about. Do you want to start with that one lonesome highlight, Wayne? Or do you want to go through all the bad stuff and then finish things off with something good?
No, I want to talk about a highlight. Even
all
if
right,
there's only
go
one.
for it.
Green Bay finally gets in the end zone with just a little over 2 minutes left in the game. Josh Jacobs ran it in. They ruled it short, which was crazy. It was obviously he was in, and then they challenged it and changed it to a touchdown, as well they should. Brandon McManus put one through the uprights to tie the game at that point, 13-13. That was the highlight.
And that was it. That was the only good thing that happened this entire game, except some field goals, which we're going to talk about. I put them in the lowlights because they should have been touchdowns. So,
fair enough.
All right. Highlights are done. Let's go ahead and talk about this long laundry list of lowlights. First score of the game gave the Packers a lead, but it should have been more. It was a sloppy drive outside of a huge catch by Watson, which, hey, he didn't get injured. I was excited. That drive ended with a short pass on 3rd and 24, which is becoming the bane of my existence, Wayne. I am so tired of seeing 3rd and not just long, 3rd and 24. Oh, let's do this short little screen pass and see if that works. What are you talking about, guys? It just really annoyed me. Had to settle for a field goal. Did take the early lead, 3-0, but come on.
I have to agree with you on that one, Scott. When it's so far to go and we throw it like behind the line of scrimmage or something like that, oh boy.
It happened multiple times this
Yes,
game. What is
did.
it with us on 3rd down? It drives me crazy. All right, end of soapbox.
Okay.
That's a lie.
Yeah, you'll be back. The Packers gave up the lead in the second half. Carolina simply refused to give up, and I hate when that happens. They clearly wanted it more. The Panthers lead 7-3 with 2 minutes and 22 seconds left in the first half. And I'm thinking, this is not going to be that Browns game all over again, is it?
Yeah, that's all I was thinking of. Boy, we're Cleveland Browns and Carolina Panthers. If you looked at our schedule at the beginning of the season, when we were like making predictions, did you ever in a million years think that our 2 losses at the halfway point of the season would be the Cleveland Browns and the Carolina Panthers?
No, sir.
What is going on? I'm getting emotional. All right. We had another missed opportunity to take the lead. It was a last drive of the first half. Offense was looking solid this time around until the red zone. What is it with the red zone? It was 3 times in the red zone this game where we got nothing, just could not get in the end zone. Rather, they were even managing the clock well. Like it was things were running smoothly. It looked really good. Just could not punch it through and had to settle for 3 again. So going into the half, we're still trailing. Thankfully, it was only by 1, but 7-6 at the half. What is going on? We have so much talent on this offense, and it just feels like it's being squandered. I don't understand it. Why do we do so well against teams like the Lions in week 1? Just don't understand what's going on, man.
We definitely have a habit of playing down to our competition, or at least it looks that way on TV. But I was hoping for stellar halftime adjustments, kind of like last week. But near the beginning of the second half, Tucker Kraft goes down. He was in a lot of pain after getting hit in the knee, had to be helped off the field, and eventually carted away. And the ruling came out today. It is a torn ACL, so we're probably not going to see him for the rest of this season, maybe not even the beginning of next season. It was absolutely gut-wrenching. On the more hopeful side of injuries, if there is such a thing, neither lineman Colby Wooden or wide receiver Matthew Golden are considered to be long-term injuries, per Coach LaFleur just a couple hours ago.
Oh, yeah. Wide receiver Matthew Golden, our number 1 draft pick that has yet to score a touchdown. That Matthew Golden you're talking about?
That's the same Matthew Golden. Yes, indeed,
okay.
sir.
Yeah. I'm back to Tucker. I'm sorry. I'm fired up today, man. I'm so disappointed.
It's bad.
Back to Tucker Kraft. Just like the look of disappointment on his face as he's being helped off the field and then eventually carted off the field. Looked severely in pain. And the day before his birthday, man. His birthday is today as of this recording. We're recording on Monday. I mean, season-ending injury. Who knows? Torn ACL. Like, is he done? Could he be? I mean, he's still so young. But my goodness, I just I love Tucker Kraft so much. He just seems like he's done such awesome things for this team, especially coming off of like the game of his career last week.
Right.
Just it's just a defining moment in his career, just to be all shot down by this stupid injury. And I love how the announcers when it happens and they're going through and kind of dissecting it, or making sure to let everybody know that it was a legal hit. Like it's legal to hit a guy that low in the knees, and I don't know the rule, but like it didn't seem like it was anything intentional. I'm not faulting the Panthers player for doing it. It's just a real big bummer, man. I feel like he was getting more receptions than wide receivers. I mean, granted, there are so many wide receivers to spread out to, but he was the go-to guy last game for sure, and he's been a go-to guy, even before that too. So it's just a big bummer to see him go down. Oh boy, McManus missed another field goal later on. It was windy at Lambeau. They kept showing the flag, and you saw the when McManus would set up the ball on the tee, and the wind kept blowing it down, and he had to have over
and over and over
and over again. It was just kind of crazy, but man, just another missed field goal. Where is I can't even remember how to pronounce his name. Havrisik. The guy that broke the record, the Packers' longest record. I don't know, man. I just will not even understand.
Well, like you said, it was a pretty long field goal attempt, and it was very windy. I'm not going to hold Brandon responsible for that particular one. Who I am holding responsible are the fans, quote unquote, at Lambeau Field that were booing, not only at the missed field goal, but they were booing it a few times throughout the game. And I understand you get frustrated. We get frustrated. We're still in frickin' first place in the NFC North. So shut your pie holes and support your Green Bay Packers.
Dude, I was getting mad at social media today. Like, people are calling for Matt LaFleur's head. I mean, just like the guys, we're in first place. I understand we got lucky with the Vikings winning against the Lions to keep us in first place. But come on, like, teams lose. This isn't college. This isn't Ohio State University where, they're 9-0 and like you can get away with perfection. This isn't that league. This is a league where you're going to lose games. Am I disappointed that we lost this game? Yes. Am I angry that we lost this game? Absolutely. But it is not doom and gloom. I think I think I shared on the Packers Fan Podcast that the year that the Packers won the Super Bowl, they lost to a crappy team by this exact score, and also lost their tight end that same day.
Yeah, Jermichael Finley, the magic hoodie.
Yeah, like that's what happened. Just because there's bad things that happen does not mean that people need to. What do you think that's going to do for this season if you fire the head coach? That is just the most ridiculous thing to call for. You think we don't have a chance now? There's absolutely zero chance of getting to the Super Bowl or even to the playoffs if you were to throw in another coach in there at this point halfway through the season. Just shut up.
Oh, for sure.
Sorry.
For sure. And remember, all teams have at least 2 losses. We've got 2 losses and a tie, but we do only have 2 losses. So, somehow it's going to be okay. 1 week at a time. Jordan Love, he picked the not so perfect time to have his first interception of the season, threw it into what was, I guess, listed as triple coverage. It looked like quintuple coverage, and the defender ran it back for 35 yards inside to the Packers 40, which led to another TD by Dowdle. And, today was that day.
Oh, you mean the Dowdle, the injured running back on the Carolina Panthers that walked all over our defense?
Yeah, yes, him.
I'm spicy tonight, man. I'm spicy. We had a failed 4th down conversion. Okay, Wayne, let me set this up for you.
I'm ready.
4th and 8, down by 7. They decided to go for it in the red zone. Or maybe it wasn't quite the red zone, but like 4th and 7. We're not taking the points. We're only down by 7. And we go for it. And Love threw it directly. I don't know who he was throwing that ball to. It went directly to a Carolina defender. I don't know how that dude did not catch it and run it all the way back for 6, because he had nothing but green grass. It just blew my absolute mind that happened. It just crazy. Okay, I'm done with bad news. I'm done.
All right, we're digging into the listener feedback. We're going to start it off with our weekly poll question that you can find in the Facebook group at packerscommunity.com, as well as on X, where we are found at Packers Fan Pod. I tried to post them shortly after the game. Took me a little while longer than normal because I was so flabbergasted I couldn't even think of what to say. So
you should have seen the text thread Wayne was sending me. Like, what do I write about? I think you had. I wish. Oh man, inside football here, but you had the craziest idea for a poll question. I don't even remember what it was, but I was like, dude, no.
It would have been asking for trouble. So anyway, we ended up with, which of the following do you think our Green Bay Packers could most successfully improve upon before Monday's game against the Eagles? Play calling, lessening the penalties, our defensive play, or our receivers? What do you think, Scott?
I mean, this is easy for me. Play calling. I was absolutely disgusted with the play calling in this game. I understand trying to, catch your opponent off guard. What's my favorite F word, Wayne?
Fundamentals. Before anybody gets any other ideas.
Yes. Fundamental football is the name of the game. You notice the time where they were most successful this game is when they were not throwing deep balls, when they were throwing short passes and running the ball, moving the chains little by little. Why in the world are you throwing the ball so much when there is that much wind in this stadium? It just made absolutely zero sense. And by the way, my prediction, I know we both got the prediction wrong because we both picked them to win. If I had known that it was going to be this windy, I would not have predicted this many points in this game. So yeah, play calling is my number one answer. Absolutely. How about you?
Okay, fair enough. Well, I thought about play calling, but then I thought, could they really succeed at improving that before next Monday night? So I went with lessening the penalties because just, I don't know, scream at some people, convince them of their wrongs. The penalties are crazy. And then the votes that came in on X as well as on Facebook, they both were split totally in different directions. One leaning heavily, very heavily at the play calling, and in the other, definitely leading toward lessening the penalties. But after you combine them and average them out, play calling got 52% of the votes. So they were with you, Scott. 48% went with lessening the penalties, and nobody voted for defense or receivers. So they either thought it's not that bad of a problem, or maybe they thought there's no way in heck it could be fixed before Monday. Not sure, but we do have some comments. Why don't you start us off, Sir Scott?
Certainly. Garrett Stritzel says you can't criticize play calling only when they result in bad plays. It's execution and discipline. I mean, expecting them to convert on a 3rd and 24, expecting them to convert on 3rd and 3rd and 8. I just said it a second ago. 4th and 8, excuse me. Down by 7 with that pressure. I mean, come on. You can only expect. This is a young team. You need to. You're making play calls that are for a much more experienced team. I understand this team has got a lot going for it. It's on fire, but you have to remember that this is not a seasoned team. You need to go with fundamentals. So I am absolutely calling play calling. I'm going to do it. Jeff Peterson says, Love continues to make poor decisions, throwing into double coverage, triple, quadruple. I think it's time to give our backup a shot. I have never been a Jordan fan. Our defense is too predictable. I think we are in trouble next week. I could not disagree more with you about Jordan Love. This is the first game I've seen him make absolutely terrible decisions. He's made a couple here and there, yes. This was an overall bad game. It is one game, guys. I am still 100% behind Jordan Love. They talked the entire game. Granted, Greg Olson was clearly a Jordan Love fan. I felt like I was watching a John Madden game talking about Brett Favre during this entire game. He just would not stop talking about Jordan Love. But I mean, he made some good points. He's in the top 5 of quarterbacks in the NFL right now. That is not something to sneeze at. Even Tom Brady had a bad game now and then. So I cannot, with all due respect, Jeff, I don't think this is a continues to make poor decisions. This is his second year,
Third.
starting third year starting as a Packers quarterback. look at what Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre did their third year of the season, especially Brett Favre. Come on, you want to talk about some of the poor decisions that dude made? Just because he got lucky and some of them pulled off now and then and made these stupendous plays. Sure, that doesn't make it a smart decision. That means he got lucky. He pulled a Captain Kirk is exactly what he did. All right, I got to stop talking. One more, Dan Dyler. I'm going with play calling. Way too many pass plays, 37 compared to 25 rushes. This is Scott talking. Yeah, how does that make sense when it's that windy? That should have been flip-flopped easily. All right, back to Dan. Love made poor choices again, throwing the ball and should have had 2 interceptions. And going for it on 4th and 8 instead of going for the points, does he think he's Dan Campbell? As far as penalties, Nixon accounted for 4 of the 7 flags. Ruminate on that for a bit. Yeah, I think Aaron Peterson was talking last week about how Nixon needs to go. He has been, his name's been called for, or number has been called for penalties a lot more than anything positive in the past few weeks. So I'm kind of with him.
Indeed. And Jared Mancini-Kerr said, I picked penalty cleanup given the framing of the question. But looking at the season as a whole, it absolutely needs to be both penalty cleanup and play calling getting better. So thank you for your votes and your comments. Please make it a point to join the Packers Fan Podcast Facebook community. Be part of the conversations. Again, it's at packerscommunity.com, especially for our live game chat section during the Packers-Eagles game on Monday Night Football. Provided YouTube TV and the Disney companies get things sorted out and that channel returns. But I will find a way to see it.
I don't care if I got to go to a bar. I'm going to go see it. All right. You guys can also be part of the Packers Fan Podcast. Did you know that? Yes, you can. We want your insights after watching the game against the Eagles, but also please include your wager a fun score guess for the Week 11 Packers at Giants game. Let your voice be heard by either doing one of the 2 things. You can record your voice attached to an email and send to feedback@PackersFanPodcast.com, or you can call the PFP voicemail at +1 920 3PACK-GO. Again, that is +1 920 3PACK-GO. We've extended the deadline for your feedback just in case you needed it, so please send in your feedback before 10 a.m. Central Time on Tuesday. Of course, the sooner the better. Thank you so much, and go Pack Go. What do we got for voicemails this week, Wayne?
We got some good thoughts to, as you say, ruminate on.
Wayne and Scott, Jared in Colorado, calling you fresh off the game, doing it while my kid is napping because it'll help me be a little bit more calm. So I'm going to start this off by saying a statement that I do mean with full disrespect intended to the Carolina Panthers. They did not beat the Green Bay Packers. The Packers beat themselves, whether it was the insane amount of penalties, the probably one of the worst play calling displays. I'll go ahead and use a term from Dan Dyler, a fecal fest, if you will, of play calling and offensive play as a whole. And the penalties, good God, I am so done with the penalties. It is just that, like, cause that is, we have we have the youngest team in the NFL, but like how many seasons in a row do you get to use that excuse? You don't. Undisciplined football resulting in penalties, that's completely on coaching. So I pinned that on LaFleur and every coach downstream of him. So that's incredibly frustrating. The defense, while it was annoying to see continued holes in our secondary and letting these like 3rd and 4th down conversions happen, they still did more than enough to let the Packers win this game. The offense, let's see, what was at the end of the game? I think they said 5 red zone visits and only 1 of them made it home. That is just unacceptable, especially if you want to be a team who's going to compete in the playoffs and potentially win a Super Bowl. So, at this point as a fan, I would like to see Matt LaFleur hand over play calling duties. He's too inconsistent to hold it, in my opinion. He's very much, if the game starts off and goes the way he's scripting it, he does amazing. But when the moment he reaches a defense who has to force him to toss his game plan out the window because they're stopping everything he's throwing out there, he just cannot adjust. Or if he does it, but he doesn't do it every single time. And I would say he does it. He misses more than he hits when it comes to having to toss his game plan for a particular day. So I don't think it's going to happen. But And as far as Special teams goes, the offense was for sure the reason we lost today. However, I'm tired of penalty flags on kickoffs. Whenever I see the flag marker come up on a kickoff, I'm usually able to assume correctly that it's on the Packers. Rich Bisaccia is the highest paid special teams coordinator in the NFL, and the product that his unit is putting out there doesn't merit that. So he either needs to take a pay cut or get shown the door. I'm kind of over that Rich Bisaccia show on that front. So yeah, tough loss, really, really tough loss. Don't know what to say. Any given Sunday, all that stuff, sure. But this is another example of the Packers playing down to their opponents. Yeah, that's kind of a Matt LaFleur special, man. Matt LaFleur has been a phenomenal head coach as a whole. He's done some amazing things for our team. And let me be clear, even though I want him to relinquish play calling duties, I don't think he should be fired like what a lot of fans seem to be suggesting, at least that I'm seeing on social media and whatnot. But, yeah, it's, he's got his faults, and this is one of them, playing down to bad teams. And that's what happened today. So let's, hope the Packers, they put this bad loss behind them. They got another one at home, next week against the Eagles. That's going to be frankly tougher than today. So I'm definitely nervous going into today or into next week. But, yeah, let's hope that they put this behind them. They clean things up, and they gotta hold on to that number one seed in the NFC. I think them losing today is going to make it pretty hard to hold on to it, especially if other teams win this weekend. But they had an early bye week, and it's a gauntlet finishing out the regular season. We're already seeing that with all the injuries, not just today, but kind of what the team's been dealing with kind of slowly over the course of the season. And if they don't hold on to the number one seed going into the playoffs, that's going to be an even longer season for the guys. So, yeah. So here hoping they put it behind them, and let's see the Pack make a statement win against the Eagles next week, and keep things rolling, and hopefully show the league that today was just a blip on the radar. So go Pack, go green and cold till dead and cold.
Go Pack, go indeed. Jared, thank you so much for the email. I love it when people call in and say they're being quiet for their kids, and then their voice just sounds like radio, like late night radio DJ. Hey, what's up, guys? It's Jared in Colorado. Just spinning the tunes for you, and yeah,
got an inside secret for you. All those late night DJs probably have their children there in the studio as they're getting to cue up some Michael McDonald.
No, is that what it is?
I don't know. Just making it up.
I think he summed it up pretty well.
Yes.
The Packers beat themselves. This is not a solid Carolina team that just like finally stepped up. They got lucky against a team that had some terrible play calling and just clearly didn't want it that badly. It's very, very frustrating. I'm also blaming LaFleur, but I also appreciate what he said that no, he doesn't need to be fired. He just needs to, I don't know, call Aaron Rodgers and have him call the play. I don't know. I'm just kidding.
Aaron's a little busy.
Yeah, I know. But he did make a good point too. This upcoming game against the Eagles, it is a massive, massive game because these are two strong teams in the NFC. This very well could be a deciding factor about who gets home field advantage in the playoffs. I know it's halfway through the season. I'm talking playoffs already, but I'm looking ahead. I'm hopeful and I'm optimistic, but this is a very, very important game. So I'm with you. Thanks for the call, Jared.
Absolutely, Jared. And yeah, we do have to find a way to get back to first place in the NFC and hold on to it. Here's hoping that up against the Eagles, neither team is wearing a different jersey. I want to see the standard Packers home jerseys and the standard Eagles away jerseys. Keeping it simple.
Yeah. Although I will say, man, I thought the leatherhead helmets were pretty cool.
I
did like that. Yeah.
But a little normalcy. I'm not blaming the leather helmets for our loss. That is for sure. Either. But I just want normal. It's what I love. It's my comfort. Anyways, let's get back and see who else give us a call or sent in voice feedback.
Hey, guys. Mark from New Lisbon. Game just ended. Very disappointing loss. But not devastating. It's not going to ruin their season. They did have a chance to be the only team in the league with one loss because I think the Colts lost. But so many ifs. But the big one to me that just stands out like a sore thumb is when it was 4th and 8 in the red zone, LaFleur went to the first down. It's like, you got to take the points there. I think they were down by 7 at the time, so I just kept saying, they're going to need a field goal to win. Why not get it now? So, losing is one thing, but losing Tucker Kraft for perhaps an extended period of time will be very tough to swallow for Packer fans. Hoping it's just a knee sprain or something minor. Green Bay's so inconsistent, and let's not forget that we are the youngest team in the NFL, and I have to remind myself of that and other Packer fans as well. So, the inconsistency hopefully is because we're so young. And Matt LaFleur is going to really have to rally the troops as Philly comes into Lambeau next Sunday. So that's going to be a huge game that could really affect where the Packers play in the playoffs and the seeding. So anyway, guys, keep up the good work, Wayne, and is it R2D2 or Scott? I forgot. But, keep up the good work, guys, and go Pack Go.
Thank you so much, Mark, in New Lisbon, and go Pack Go back at you as well. Indeed. Very disappointing loss, but Mark, I love how you put it, not devastating for the season. It's a wake-up call. We're inconsistent, so maybe this will help be more consistent. And maybe the fact that we're at home for the second week in a row and the game's not till Monday night, give us a little extra time. I don't know. The weather is supposed to turn and get a little chilly. We'll talk about that in a bit. But, the bad news on Tucker Kraft being out for the rest of the year, almost for sure, that's bad.
Definitely. I mean, I just love the guy. But I think the inconsistency is what's killing us. I mean, how many teams have a season where they're beating solid teams and lose to ones that they should be clearly winning? That is overconfidence, that is inconsistency, and it has to change. So not much to add. He summed it up pretty well.
That's true. The Lions did lose to the Vikings yesterday, and
that's true.
In week 1, we demolished them. Any given Sunday, as they say. Let's see who else sent us a message. Oh, I bet you can guess.
Go, Pack, go back to bed. You bum. What was that we saw yesterday? I think the time change really screwed the Packers up, because that is not the same team that we witnessed go up and down the field during the second half of last week's game in Pittsburgh. And I'm going to tell you what, that was embarrassing. We were 2 touchdown favorites going into this game. We should have been walking them up and down the field. Instead, we're sitting here with a 16-13 loss on our hands, going into a Monday Night Football showdown with the reigning Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles. And I don't know what this team is anymore. It's like it doesn't have an identity. It really has an identity crisis. They really allowed the Panthers to come in and dictate their own game plan. And it's like the Packers didn't come in with one. I hate to use the word trap game, and I was hearing it, throughout the week on a couple of different shows that I watch, and I didn't want to admit it, but here we are. We're, we had a tuck tail and run, and I just don't know what to think about this team right now. Especially with the fact now that we're going to have to go through the rest of the season and potentially some of next season without our best playmaker, Tucker Kraft, with a torn ACL. Yeah, how do you replace him? You can say next man up all you want, but this is really going to test the grit of this team. I really appreciate the picture that Scott posted earlier today. It was talking about our last Super Bowl, and when one of our best receivers went down that year, and I think it was even in the same week of the season, and lo and behold, come back in 2010 and win Super Bowl 45 against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Yeah, I just hope they figure it out soon, a lot sooner rather than later. I mean, we're in week 9 now. It's time that they figure it out. I mean, we talked about it last week, how it seems that the Packers play down to their opponents and up to their competition. And it came true again last night. And then they let Rico Doodle run all over him. Over 100 yards. I don't think I'm mistaken here, but I think that's the first 100-yard rusher they've allowed this entire season. And then, like I said, they allowed Carolina to keep Jordan Love off the field. And even though we beat them pretty much in every statistical category across the board, we still ended up with the loss. That fumble by Savion when he ran into the back of Romeo Doubs. I don't know why he couldn't avoid him. But it's on their first drive too, when they could have had 7. Speaking of having points, what do you see doing on fourth? What is Matt LaFleur doing on 4th and 8, not taking a field goal? And what is he doing if McManus is still injured? Why is he still in the game? Put Haversick in the game. He's perfect on the year. McManus, not so much. And I feel like I'm a broken record. I feel like I say this almost every single week, but once again, Matt LaFleur with his play calling it's just not congruent. It doesn't make sense. It's just disjointed. I keep on saying that word, disjointed. And that goes back to what I said earlier. They don't have an identity. He wants to run the ball, but you know what? The last few weeks, this offensive line, they haven't been able to open up holes for Josh Jacobs and Williams to be running through. I think Williams, I may be mistaken. I'm kind of flooded right here. I'm just kind of beside myself, wondering what's going on, wondering what team is going to show up on Sunday, wondering if I'm going to need my a defibrillator next to me next time I play or I watch a game. But no matter what, always going to be green and gold till dead and cold. And I got just that one last thing. Oh, wait. Wager of fun. I almost forgot. The Eagles are not favored in this game somehow, even with the loss of Tucker Kraft. We're 2.5-point favorites. And I think they show up for these games, and I think they're gonna bounce back even without Tucker Kraft. It's going to be hard, but I see a little bit lower scoring game. I'm going to go with the Green Bay Packers with 24 and the Philadelphia Eagles 21. Go, 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 Pack, go!
Go Pack, go indeed. Thanks, Dan. It's always great to hear from you. Yeah, embarrassing is definitely the word, and the identity. I mean, that's like maybe a better word than inconsistent or inconsistency is what is our identity? What is this team? And I think that needs to be cleaned up as we go for sure. I'm with Dan. I don't understand how the Packers are favored 2.5 points going into this game. Did they watch last week? I mean, I understand it's all about betting. It's not actual statistics and that kind of thing, but it just blows my mind. I wonder if all those bets were made prior to the Carolina game. It makes me wonder what that's about. So
I just think it has something to do with, don't you normally get about 3 points when you're at home?
Is that what it is? So it's about an even keel matchup here is what you're saying?
Or I think they're saying the Eagles are going to win by 0.5 point, but we're at home, so we make it 2.5.
Is that what it is? Okay.
I think so.
Half a point.
The team's identity, we got to find an identity, a new identity, because I believe up until yesterday at halftime, our identity was Tucker Kraft.
Yeah. And now it's what? Christian Watson is our identity? Come on. Mr. Glass? Really? Come on.
Wow, Scott. He's played 2 games. He's not injured.
It's a record.
It's a new and improved Watson. Okay. Let's go ahead and preview that game because it'll be here before we know it, even though it's not till Monday night. Your 5-2-1 NFC North leading Green Bay Packers staying at Lambeau Field, hosting the current champs, the 6-2 Philadelphia Eagles, Monday night, November 10th at 7:15 p.m. Central Time. The Packers lead this series all time 28-20. Our first matchup against the Eagles happened on October 29th, 1933. This was just about a week after Albert Einstein fled to America to get away from Nazi Germany. So it's conceivable that in his spare time, Albert Einstein might have watched this game. It's only a thought. Dude. It's a thought. Anything's possible. We won that first matchup 35-9. In fact, Scott, the rivalry got off to a bang with us winning the first 9 games against the Eagles. Now for the not as happy news, the Eagles have beaten us the last 3 times we've played against them. Now is the best time to get another victory against the Philadelphia Eagles. And since it's almost 63 years to the date, let's have the Packers recreate the November 11th, 1962 matchup where we shut out Philadelphia with a score of 49-0. 49-0. Can I get a go, Pack, go?
Go, Pack, go. But Wayne, that doesn't happen anymore. Come on. That just doesn't happen anymore.
You'll see. You'll see. My all-time favorite Eagles-Packers memories obviously happened off the field. Of course, it's April 7th, 1993, the day Green Bay officially signed legendary pass rusher Reggie White in a free agent signing from the Eagles, and the rest, as they say, is history. Will the weather be historic at Lambeau Field Monday night? Maybe not historic, but it'll be wonderful because it looks to be cold. Time to bundle up. Partly cloudy and 40 degrees at kickoff. That's about 4 degrees Celsius. That definitely calls for a burr. In fact, I checked 3 different weather forecasts because they're all different. One of them actually calls for a 40% chance of snow Monday night.
Nice.
But just one of them. So we'll see. So be prepared and go, Pack, go.
Go, Pack, go indeed. And let's move on to our keys to a Packers victory over the Eagles. Strategy number 1, take advantage of the home field. I know this is kind of a pat answer, but last time we played the Eagles, it was in Brazil. While technically an away game for both teams, it definitely hurt us playing on that slippery turf. This time, the Packers will have the hometown crowd behind them. Despite what the fans say on Twitter, the fans with cheeks in the seats will stand behind you. The green and gold will need to rely on the fans to be quiet on offense and as noisy as possible on defense to make play calling an absolute nightmare. And by the way, if you were booing at the last game, you need to sell me your season ticket because you clearly don't deserve it. Strategy number 2, turnovers. If the offense isn't going to click against Carolina, I have a hard time believing that they're going to do much better against the Eagles. So it's going to be up to the defense to force turnovers and overtake the time of possession. Keeping the ball out of Saquon Barkley's hands is going to be the name of the game. It's that simple. And that brings me to strategy number 3, contain Saquon Barkley. I know this is easier said than done. The Eagles' run game is number 1 in the league based on yards. Yes, Jalen Hurts is a solid quarterback and he's got a good receiving core. But this is a game where we want the defense to force Philly to go to the air to keep the ball out of Barkley's hands. That's really their only shot, as they're going to get decimated if they can't remember how to tackle. Micah Parsons is going to be key here, and if he can stop those gaps, the Packers can win this game. It is totally in their hands if they keep it out of Saquon's. There you have it.
Yes, please, and thank you so very much, Sir Scott. And I just have a feeling Micah Parsons is going to have a huge game playing up to the competition, but we'll find out in about a week.
He's got a lot of experience against Philadelphia, right? Because he was on the Cowboys for so long, and they play twice a year. So
exactly. So yeah, that'll definitely help. I do believe that everybody, including all the listeners, called for a Packers victory last week. So that doesn't change anything in the wager of fun for the week.
No, it does not. Do you want to hear the stats on that? First off, let's go to the wager of fun. So
sure.
Yeah, everybody got everything wrong. Everybody picked a win, so nobody got points. So the standings are exactly the same. Wayne, you're still in the lead with you and me. By a score of 4-0, although we got one tie. First place is Jay Walters with 2 wins. Second place is David Hawkins, Brett Connor, and Dan Dowler, each with 1 win. So it's still anybody's game at this point. Jay Walters that's a commanding lead when you're going up against all the listeners, not just you and me, Wayne.
Right.
It's pretty easy for you to get 4 wins on me in a season, but for these guys to get 2 wins, that's pretty impressive. As for this week's predictions, you're gonna hate me, Wayne. I don't think it's happening. After what I saw this week, there's no way they're gonna overtake the Super Bowl champs. It's not gonna happen. They're at home. They get those extra 3 points like you were talking about earlier. That's fine. Jalen Hurts has been on fire. Saquon Barkley is a beast. He is a lot of fun to watch. And I just don't see this inconsistent, what was the word Dan used? Identityless Packers team is going to have a chance. So I'm going to say Philadelphia 30, Green Bay 20.
Wow, Scott. That makes me
the
want to...
The look of disappointment on Wayne's face right now.
It's real. You're making me want to quote Roy Kent. Why don't you want me to be happy?
You got to do it in the accent, man. If you're going to do that.
I can't do that. Okay, you're calling for a loss. Fine.
Yep.
I'm calling for a Packers victory. That's right, a Packers victory, but it's going to be as close as hell and stressful and everything. We're going to win 22-21.
All right. And apparently everybody's scared off to make a prediction, at least this early in the week. We got two in. Garrett Stritzel says Green Bay 21, Philadelphia 17. Dan says Green Bay 24, Philadelphia 21. So still waiting for those other Wager O funds. Get in there and let us know what you think.
Indeed. The NFC North has tightened up. What a division right now. Anything's possible. We are still in first, though, at 5-2-1. The Lions hot on our heels at 5-3. And the Bears, oh my gosh, they're 5-3. The Vikings are 4-4 because they did beat the Lions. So everybody's back to not having a losing record.
It's just kind of crazy, this division. And I do give it to the Bears, man. They got lucky.
They did. Oh my gosh.
But what a game. And speaking of, that game was so much fun to watch despite the final score. So get this, Cincinnati scores 15 unanswered points in 1 minute and 9 seconds, which included recovering an onside kick. That put them in the lead by 1, and all they had to do was keep the Bears out of field goal range. Sadly, Chicago pulled off the win with a TD after a Bengals straight up forgot how to tackle. I was texting everybody. I was texting my brother. I was texting Aaron. I was texting you saying, dude, are you watching this game? And everybody was like, what are you talking about? That game is over like in a third quarter. They were up by like 3 scores or something like that. And I'm like, turn the game back on. You're going to want to see this. They say, how can you not be romantic about baseball? I love that kind of stuff. Even though I hated to see the Bears win, that kind of stuff is always fun to watch. And man, what a game.
Yeah, and you did convince me. I was at the restaurant waiting for my food to be delivered for lunch. Okay, let me open up my phone and turn back on that game. Just in time to see Chicago run that TD in and nobody tackle. And thanks, Scott.
Yeah, I had no idea. It looked like it was going to go our way. It really did. It really did.
I was pretty excited. What really stood out to me this weekend was the Jaguars kicker, Cam Little, making a new NFL record 68-yard field goal in Las Vegas. That was pretty amazing.
We're going to hit 70. I'm going to predict it right now. We're going to hit 70 by the end of the season.
Really? I do think eventually they're just getting better all the time. They will hit 70 eventually. Boy, that'd be incredible if it happened this season.
The thing is, it's so crazy to go for it that late or that far, because if you miss it, that puts you in ridiculous. That puts you in a ridiculous position in terms of the other team doing it. So I think this was just like it might as well. It's like it was like right before halftime, wasn't it? I think it wasn't towards the end of the game.
It was right before halftime, and they made it and set the record. And of course, near the end of the game, the Raiders got a touchdown, and they could have kicked an extra point to tie it up and go into overtime. They played for the win, went for the 2-point conversion, missed it because they're the Raiders, and they lost.
The Vikings-Lions game was also highly entertaining. Lots of ups and downs. It also came down to the wire. Very happy the Vikings pulled off the upset, despite the fact that I hate the idea of cheering for Minnesota.
Right.
Still, it kept the Packers in first place and made the NFC North a super, super tight division, which always makes things a lot of fun in the second half of the season.
Yes, for sure. Now, as we get into week 10, the teams that are on their bye weeks this time around are the Cincinnati Bengals, the Dallas Cowboys, the Kansas City Chiefs, and the Tennessee Titans. So check your fantasy rosters. I know I need to take a look at mine just to be on the safe side.
Before we head out, guys, I want to let you know about my other podcast. You hear me talk about it each week, The Gaming Outsider. We've got a new episode out this week, and we are discussing what video games we think had the biggest impact on the industry as a whole. I think you're going to want to check it out. It's some pretty good discussion. I also played a remaster of a 16-year-old game that I highly recommend everyone check out, especially if you've never played Plants vs. Zombies. I know that sounds like a ridiculous title. This game is super quirky and silly, but it is a fun tower defense game, and it's all in 4K now. It looks great. You can hear my show at the same places you listen to this one, and you can find our website at thegamingoutsider.com. Thanks for supporting our efforts here at PFP. We really appreciate it. If you would like some details on how to join, you can find them at packersfanpodcast.com/giveback. Go Pack Go, Mr. Jay Walters, and thank you for your Bart Star level patronage. We do appreciate it. Dan Dowler, your Jordan Love level support also warrants thanks, and Go Pack Goes.
Go Pack Go, and thank you to our cherished Brett Favre level patrons, Scott Bors, Megan, and Miguel Ramirez. Also, sending thanks and Go Pack Goes to the PFP Lambeau level patrons, Joe Christensen, Brett Connor, and Hank Davis from the free Podcast Tools YouTube channel. If interested in joining in, check out the details at packersfanpodcast.com/giveback. The Unofficial Packers Fan Podcast, not yet affiliated with the NFL or the Green Bay Packers. So the best thing you can do is tell a friend. You've heard us ask for it before. We're asking again because sharing is caring. So tell a friend about the show. Thank you.
Also, if you'd like to follow us on social media, you can do so over on Twitter at PackersFanPod. My personal handle is at GoCastScott. And if you'd like to follow the podcast, it is at The GoCast. And Wayne's handle is at Wayne Henderson. And here is PFP community members Dan Dowler, Joe Christensen, Andre in LA, and Megan getting us ready for the huge game against the current champs.
Go, Pack, go!
Go Pack Go!